Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all this news that happened during the week of mobile and answer your questions live. If you have any questions you would like to ask, just ask them in the comment section and I will answer them before the end of the show. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first big news article since our Wednesday edition, so there is more slim pickings this week because we had a shorter week between mobile weeklies, is that Apple has a total of 32 lawsuits against them about the battery throttling issue. If you haven't heard, for some reason, basically what happened is that Apple, in order to improve your battery life overall, basically slow down your phone so that it is slower after a certain time. This is usually within a year, and that really upset people, obviously, because Apple was doing it for over a year until they got caught. Basically, they never told anyone they were doing this, and that was the big thing that everyone's upset about. I personally, again, that's the part that I'm upset about. Now, some people say that, you know, that it was a lot of things, like they shouldn't do anything like this. Regardless, I am okay with Apple doing it if they give you the choice of doing it and if they don't try to hide it, if they're transparent. But Apple trying to not be transparent with this was my biggest issue with it. The fact that they try to hide it was definitely something that was really annoying. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on this. Are you guys surprised that it's this many 32 class action lawsuits going against Apple? And it's really curious to see just how much this can hurt Apple in terms of sales. Now, in Q4, they already did not seem to get the sales they wanted. We will be getting that by the beginning of next month, most likely. The official Q4 numbers for the year, and I think that's their Q1 or something like that. Apple's always on a weird schedule financially compared to the rest. But it's a really interesting thing to see how it's going to go down overall in terms of hitting their numbers, because now people are just getting a new battery and it's like getting a new phone. In other news, this was something that I was really interested in just because I just finished recording my best of CES video that should go up tomorrow afternoon. And with that video, I did not do any projects. So a lot of times at CES we see projects like, oh my god, like 50 cars that could drive themselves and they're never coming out. Or, you know, projects like, oh, we have a rollable screen and it's a rollable TV. Great, we've seen that for so many years. You know, it's really interesting in terms of that. But the real interesting about this one is that apparently Project Linda, which is one that Razer presented, which did not make the top 10 for me because it is a project, might actually become a reality. Now, at the time of recording it, I did not think it would be a reality. I thought, you know, okay, it's another thing where they say they're gonna do this, but, you know, we've seen lots of projects that never come to see the light of day. However, apparently this could come as soon as September with the launch of the Razer Phone 2. Now, I think this is a really interesting idea. Again, this is a rumor right now, but I think it's a really thing to make Razer stand out. Why not go with your best asset, which is your laptops, and use that to be the key selling point of your phone? I think that's a really smart idea for Razer to do, because in an industry where we have, you know, so many cell phones to go through, it really is something that you have to stand out. You have to do something different from everyone else, whether it be having the best camera out, whether it be having the best speakers out, whether it be having a once in a lifetime like AI chip in there, you know, whatever it is, whether it be having an S Pen, whatever it is, have something that stands out, that's different, so that people will want to buy your product. And for me, Razer, this makes complete sense for them to really sell more, because take your laptops that are amazing. Razer is still my favorite laptops, and I'm not just saying that because maybe one person will send me one, but no, it really is just amazing hardware, and they should use that towards their phones. If they really want to enter in this market and get serious about it, that is really good. One, now I did talk about this project because there is something like it called the Mirror Book that I do get into in tomorrow's video, and that can be for any smartphone. And apparently they had a meeting with Razer, so You didn't hear that from me. But yeah, really cool stuff to see what's going to happen along the lines. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys be interested in a smartphone docking to a laptop? For me, I like the idea, and I do really think it's great for mobile use. If I were to use this instead of a laptop for basic use on the go, this would be really perfect for me. And then we have a slew of leaks on the new Moto devices. Basically, we know a lot of things about them now. But first and foremost, we have the Moto X5, which is apparently supposed to have a notch like right here, like the iPhone, which is kind of interesting. I'm curious. I think they should just leave it flat personally, but you know, if they want a notch to stand out, that's interesting. There is no fingerprint scanner, it looks like, or unless the fingerprint scanner is on this one for this model. Now there's lots of different models here, but this is for the X5. And then we have the G6, which looks really like a nice upgrade compared to the G5. And the G5 is a great phone, don't get me wrong, but the G6 Plus, I mean, these phones look sleek. And you have the G6 Play coming back out. Apparently going to have the Snapdragon 630 on the Plus with a 6-inch display. All these are going to be 18:9, as you can probably guess by now. And depending on RAM, it could be 3, 4 gigs, or even 6 gigs, which is crazy to have 6 gigs of RAM on a $300 smartphone. I mean, these average around $350. So, wow, if that happens in 2018, that's crazy to me. 64 gigs, 12 megapixel and 5 megapixel rear camera with a 16 megapixel front camera. So that's pretty cool. I'm very interested to see how that works. And then we have, of course, the Moto Z3 and Moto Z3 Play, which again will still offer the same Moto mods experience that Motorola's have been doing. So you still get that. And there is talk of a 5G mod. Now, here's the thing. This is 5G. This is 5 gigabytes on the screen, so I'm hoping that it is actually 5G. And basically, it's a mod that they're going to have for Verizon. So when Verizon launches 5G, that the mod will make it compatible. It'll give it the antenna extension, which is really interesting when you think about it, because no one else does something like that. No one else allows you to add a better antenna for a phone later on, which Motorola, because of their modular design, can. So that's pretty cool. I thought this one was a really interesting article, so I thought I would bring it up. Ex-Apple and Samsung executives have jumped over to Disney for their upcoming streaming video app. And I really haven't talked about this as much, but for those of you who don't know, Disney is going to be launching their own streaming service in 2019. And I don't take this lightly by saying this, but this is going to rival Netflix right away. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to have every Disney property except for the Marvel Netflix shows. So, but everything else, all Marvel, all Lucasfilm, all Disney properties are going to be taken off Netflix, taken off wherever they are, Hulu, On Demand, all that kinds of, all of them are going to be gone. And they're all going on their Disney's own streaming service. Not only that, but if Disney does acquire Fox in 2018, which is expected to finish at the end of the year, then all Fox properties as well. So your avatars, your every big thing that is coming out, really, a lot of it is with those two studios. So that is really impressive, and not to mention that there is talks that there will be a Star Wars show, like a Netflix style show basically, on this streaming service, which again is pretty impressive. Overall, I'm really kind of curious to see how that goes. I really, again, I don't take that lightly, but this Disney streaming service, if it's positioned right around the $10 price range, could easily take on Netflix because of the amount of content that it really is going to offer. A lot of these are dead in the water, like CBS All Access, I think is, you know, a no-show. You know, I feel like HBO's app, I think that people just you know, tune in when Game of Thrones comes out for like 3 months and then go away as soon as it goes away. But yeah, I really am interested to see what you guys think. I'm very curious. Overall, I think that this could be big, but the fact that they are getting executives from Apple and Samsung shows me that Disney really is serious about this streaming service being a good streaming service in terms of the UI and the design around it. And that is really good, because there are some apps that are on, whether it be Roku or Nvidia Shield, Android TV or Samsung TV, or any of these streaming boxes that are just horrible and just really need updated. WWE, I'm looking at you. You need to update that app. All right. Now in other news, we have Apple's HomePod passing through FCC. So usually when something passes through FCC, it means it's going to launch within, you know, a month to 3 months. I think 3 months is going to be the sweet spot here, because I do think it's going to launch around April, the same time as the new iPhone, whatever it's going to be called, SE2, 7SE, 8SE, whatever Apple wants to call it. Their new mid-range phone will also launch during that time, and possibly a new iPad, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But those are all going to launch around April, and I think the HomePod would just launch with it. So that is going to be everything for the news this week, guys. Again, if you have any questions you want to ask, just ask it in the comments section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. All right. Do you think the fingerprint scanner will be embedded in the screen on the Note 9? Yes. Having used it at CES from Synaptics, I can tell you it does seem right now that, again, it's a beta, right? I tested a literally, you know, project phone. It was not ready. It was not final build, but it was working pretty decently even for that. And I mean, it was quick. It was not too slow. It was, I would not say, like, you know, the OnePlus 5T is kind of touted along with Touch ID as being like one of the fastest fingerprint scanners. It's not there, but it's at the same level of like Samsung, Huawei, the Razer phone's kind of quick, actually, I would say that, or the Pixel 2. I think the Pixel 2 is a little bit slower compared to some of the others too. So yeah, it's really a good speed, and yes, I could definitely see that coming out. Here's the thing with the fingerprint scanner, and I went again a little bit on the video tomorrow about it. With the things I saw at CES, the fingerprint scanner in the display, the reason why that stands out so much is because you can get it from smaller companies guaranteed by this year. So a company like, say, LG, which I talked about in that video, that, you know, is revamping and retooling everything about the company in terms of smartphones. Well, that is really interesting, because they can actually, since they sell less phones, since they're not selling 10 million phones in the first month, which is something that a Samsung or an Apple will do, they don't have to worry about the inventory as much for a fingerprint scanner display. So I think the advantage goes to companies like the Pixel, like LG, like Razer phone, to have a fingerprint in the display, simply because they don't sell as much. That should be used as an advantage, not as a bad thing. And those are the companies that I would expect, or HTC, really companies that they have the opportunity to sell a phone with a fingerprint scanner in the display. Hopefully they take advantage of that. Hey, would anybody recommend the Elf phone S8? I know of that series, but I do not know of that specific model, so let's see. All right, it's a $230 1440p 6-inch display, 21 megapixel rear camera, 8 megapixel front camera. I'm guessing you can either get it from, like, yeah, Amazon, or GearBest was the one that I was gonna say I would probably get it from. So here's the thing, like, I tested out the Alpha Maze, which again is, you know, similar companies, like from basically China is where these phones are mainly sold. But overall, with this phone, 4 gigs of RAM would be probably the thing that kind of worries me, and their processor. The Helio ones are not as good as a lot of them from Huawei. The Kirins are much better, as well as the Snapdragon, of course, for Qualcomm. So the processor would be the main thing that worries me, and probably the one corner cutting cost they have, as well as the RAM, 4 gigs of RAM. No external memory support, although you do have 64 gigs storage. again, you're looking at more so for the price, right? For $229, you're getting a lot for this phone. But in my opinion, the Asus phone that's coming out next month in February is going to be a better one, and we talk about that at the CES video tomorrow, so subscribe to check out that one. But that one's going to be a big one to check out, as well as, of course, the Honor 7X, which is over here. This one I would choose over that phone that you were showing me right now, just because it has a way better processor. Still 64 gigs of storage, but you can add on memory with this one, and still dual SIM, still a lot of the really nice things that come with a smartphone. Still 18:9 aspect ratio, so it has a lot going for it. I would choose that one over that phone. And that one's $200, by the way, the Honor 7X. What's better, the Note 8 or the Razer phone? Overall, yes, I would say the Note 8 would be a better overall phone, but one of the main reasons why I had the Razer phone as my daily driver too, so I always have two phones with me. The Note 8 and the Razer phone is such a great combination for both, because let's see, the Razer has way better speakers. The Razer has a better screen for gaming. It's so buttery smooth that any smartphone, like I game on the Pixel, I game on the Note 8, the Razer's better for gaming. It just is. That 120 hertz is so much better. Do I miss the OLED every time I play a game? Yes, I do. I'm not gonna lie. But that's the main best part about the Razer, right? So for listening to music and for a battery life that is really good, not better than the Note 8. I'm trying to remember I don't remember what the battery test was on my Razer phone when I did do that all-day test where game, you know, navigation and all that kind of stuff. But overall, I will say that the Note has things like the pen, has a way better camera, has the interface and the GUI that I like a little bit more. Although Razer's not bad at all because it comes with Nova Launcher stock. Yeah, I will say that for me, easily the Note 8 is the better overall solution, but they actually make a great pairing if you have two phones. Greens, RICKY, how are you doing? Got some rest? I did get some rest, although I had some really bad back pain today, so I've been taking like a leave and all this kind of stuff. And my wife rubbed something on my back that was very cold. It's supposed to make me feel better, but we'll see how that goes. Apple is going to discontinue the iPhone X. No, well, see, a lot of people always thought that the iPhone X would be just like the new phone. Like they're always going to have one every year. I think they're going to go back to having still two phones. It's just the iPhone, whether you call it the iPhone 9, whether you call it the iPhone X2, whether you call it the iPhone 11, whatever you want to call it, I think those phones are going to look like the iPhone 10 or X, and they are just simply going to have the same kind of specs that we would have saw in an iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, but the look will be the iPhone X, if that makes sense. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. I'm hearing the Galaxy S9 is going to disappoint. I don't think so. Although I saw a video from, who was it, Jonathan, I think, that did say that. I have not seen that video yet, but I'm curious to think why he would think that. But yeah. Does blue light filter drain battery? No, it literally just turns off blue light, which is actually strong. Blue light is brighter than warm light. So if anything, it's actually saving you battery in terms of not being able to go as bright. But yeah, not really. It won't really drain it by having that. Are you going to MWC this year? Unfortunately, no. I priced it and it would be about $2,000 for me to go to MWC, and I'm still just not there yet. As you guys know, I'm early on in my real estate career, and I have I'm in escrow in actually the first two houses, so that's really good that I'm gonna have a good start there. But, you know, when starting a new career path and, you know, dedicating myself to YouTube more, if the channel continues to grow and if real estate goes well and everything goes well this year, I definitely can't see myself easily going to MWC next year for the first time. I'm more curious if the channel will be doing as well if I'm going to be able to go to Barcelona this year, or sorry, not Barcelona this year, to IFA this year in Berlin. That is one that I'm kind of curious because that does happen September time, and I, you know, need to do. And I don't know, I've always thought about, like, I know some people have said to me, like, oh, why don't you do, like, a campaign, my friends, meaning, have said, like, why don't you do a campaign, like, hey, send me here. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to do it on my own, if that makes any sense. But that's where I'm at right now. I will not be able to make it to MWC this year, just because financially $2,000 and me being out for that time frame, it doesn't look like it'll make sense. Financially responsible. However, next year I would definitely like to do it, and possibly even this year at IFA for Berlin in September. We'll see what we can do. I bought the Moto G5 Plus for my granddaughter for Christmas, and she loves it. You said you were going to buy it for your niece during one of your shows. Does she like it? Yeah, no, she loves it. She is younger, so it is mainly for emergencies. But yeah, she likes it. You know, when I tell her she can, she plays some games on it. But yeah, no, she's loved it. I mean, she's honestly just happy having a phone. But it's still one of the best phones she could have, I would say, easily. But yes. Disappointment is subjective, that is true. I mean, I do not believe the S9 will be disappointing in sales, right? Will it be disappointing to YouTubers that review all these new phones, and if we don't see anything new, we're kind of like, eh, could be. I would say YouTubers are probably the hardest people to satisfy, as where your general consumer is pretty easy to satisfy. I mean, if you just give, you know, an average consumer a great battery life, a great camera, they're pretty happy. If you don't give a YouTuber something new and innovative, we can get bored. And I do include myself in that. I try to be more, you know, just like think of myself as put myself in an average consumer's shoes, which I feel that a lot of YouTubers don't. I mean, they're just like, there was this video, and it's so funny because I'll post that on Twitter. There was this video on Unbox Therapy that said, like, which phone does a YouTuber carry? And all of them said either the Pixel or the iPhone. And I'm like, this is such a YouTuber crowd. Like, I'm just like, I had said basically, if I was in that group, I would say, okay, I have a Note 8 and this is why all of you are wrong. No, and then I would have pulled out my Pixel because that's my secondary phone right now. But, you know, it's just like, I feel like, you know, to each their own, of course, but it was just such a YouTuber thing to say Pixel or iPhone just because of what they're looking for in a phone, and not I would say, like, you know, an everyday consumer might be looking for. But I do give props to mostly MKBHD, because he actually said, you know, his phone is the Pixel, but he said the best phone for everyone else would be a Note 8. And that was really just, again, very telling of how good he is, because he can identify that, like, okay, this is for me, but no, more people I would recommend a Note 8 because it has better features for the average consumer, I would say. I have an S7 Edge with 32 gigs. You have an S7 Edge with 32 gigs of storage, not 32 gigs of RAM. That would be the most unique S7 ever. Just so you know, RAM is what allows you to do multiple things at the same time, for just really basic tutorial. And 32 gigs of storage or flash memory is your actual storage. So just so you get that clear. So you have 32 gigs of storage. What can I move from my device to get more free space? I have a 200 gig SD card. I have moved apps, vids, and pics. What else can I move? Unfortunately, you can only move those three things, namely. Now, one thing you should do is clear cache. If you've never cleared your cache, you probably have up to 5 gigs in there. So that will help you tremendously just in that. But that's the first thing I would recommend. Go into settings, go into storage. Let's see. I'm gonna do it on my Note 8. Now I think that is different from the S7 because Samsung has changed their interface so many times. But I think it's under device maintenance depending on your carrier with the S7 because they didn't have that always. Then storage, then no, see, it is different on this one. There was something that allowed you to go into clear cache memory, and that's what you want to do. But yeah, I don't have it on the Note 8 anymore because they just have that normally now. But yes, that's what you'd want to do on your S7 Edge. Aren't Razer laptops a little overpriced? I would say Razer laptops are on par with Dell XPS's. Now, in terms of pricing, I would say overpriced is a MacBook or a Surface laptop. I think those are overpriced, and what I mean by that is typically if you compare a Razer or a Dell XPS with a basically competitor, you're typically going to get the Surface or a MacBook costing anywhere from $200 to $500 more for almost identical specs. So I won't say that, yeah, Razers are not cheap and Dell XPSs aren't cheap. For your bang for the buck, my favorite is probably Lenovo and Asus. I think you can get much better internals on those two laptops for a much less expensive price compared to competitors on average. Like I can, for my wife, when I got her a laptop, I got her an i7 with 8 gigs of RAM Lenovo for like 600 bucks. And that was like a 14-inch, it was under 4 pounds. You know, if I would get that for a Razer or a Dell, well, they probably aren't going to have, you know, they might have an Inspiron around that price, but for a 14-inch or 13.3-inch, yeah, they're going to be paying a lot more for those same exact specs of i7 and 8 gigs of RAM. You're going to be paying over $1,000. Now you're gonna have better hardware in terms of like how it feels, better quality, better battery life too. But if you're talking bang for the buck, yeah, they're not gonna be the best ones to go with a Dell XPS or a Razer, which I would kind of put in the same class. I would say Lenovo or Asus would be my better bang for the buck deal, and they still have their own high-end ones, of course, but you really can find some inexpensive ones. Razer phone needs a headphone jack. Yeah, I agree. I think there is not too much of an excuse to not have a headphone jack on the Razer phone. I think that was a big miss for them. I know they give a 32-bit DAC adapter that comes with it that goes from the Type-C to a headphone jack, so they give you that adapter, but nothing beats to just having a headphone jack. Razer phone laptop is cool if it's not too expensive. Waiting for Galaxy. Yeah, I think, the MirrorBook will actually do with DeX. So, again, hopefully we're going to get that one. I'm contacting this company so that we get it when they launch in May. But there is something that can actually do it with the S9 when it comes out. Hey, Ricky, will the S9 and the Galaxy X come with Bixby? Yes. Yes, they will. Phone-powered laptop. Yep. Waiting on Galaxy on a phone-powered laptop. Again, there will be something called the MirrorBook that will work with it, and again, hopefully it'll get in the May. Hi, Ricky. Is the Gear S3 really a big upgrade from the Gear S? Trying to get one, but still expensive. Want to know if it's worth it. Well, you're actually asking at a really good time because the Gear S4 is going to be announced in about a month. So that being said, since the Gear S4 will be coming out, then we should be getting the Gear S3 at a lower price. And is it an upgrade from the Gear S? Yes. Actually, my brother went through that exact process. He loved the Gear S in terms of the look and style. He liked it much better. However, the Gear S3 was a big upgrade for battery life for him. His Gear S was at the point where it was dying. You know, he works in hotels, so he's like 12-hour shifts, and it would die before the end of his shift on the Gear S, basically towards the end. Whereas the Gear S3 he now has goes all the way to the end of the day, no problem. So that was a big thing for him. Overall too, it's a better interface. It's easier to navigate things on that one. It's not as big of a text because you do have a smaller display, but overall, yes, I think it's a good enough upgrade that you would enjoy it after the Gear S4 comes out, so that way you can get it at a cheaper price since it's too expensive. Ricky, do you have an NVIDIA Shield? If so, will you do a review? I want to say I did a review when I got it. I have the original NVIDIA Shield, the 500 gig storage one, because overkill, thy name is Ricky. Overall, yeah, I mean, I still love it. It's still amazing for me. I am a little bit annoyed at times because, you know, it doesn't have the 4K and the HDR. Or sorry, it doesn't have the HDR. So that like I find myself using my Roku more now to play movies and videos, or my Samsung TV built-in apps, than I do my Shield. But anytime I want to game on Android games on the TV, that's what I go with. I heard in-screen fingerprint scanner on the Galaxy S9. Nope. Apple and Disney, an unholy alliance. Yeah, I don't think that would ever happen at this point. Not to say that Apple couldn't buy Disney, but it's more so that I don't think Disney shareholders would want to, because it's like they're just doing tremendously good on their own, and I just don't think so. I think if anything, Apple could buy Netflix more likely than Disney, but we'll see. Apple will be buying some companies this year, so it'll be interesting to see which ones they do. Different processor on the S9 in the US than abroad? Of course it will be. It's going to be the Exynos and the, hey, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. It's going to be the Exynos overseas and the Snapdragon in the US. All right. All right, sorry, side conversation going on. I almost waited for Bluetooth 5.0 headphones. Thanks God I didn't. Yeah, look, man, it was supposed to happen. I'll call that on me. Overall, I mean, Bluetooth 5.0 is going to be so much better, but we haven't gotten any. Which means, honestly, that I don't think we're going to get it until maybe September at IFA. We get announced something. But it will not be the first half of the year when we get Bluetooth 5.0 headphones, which makes me want to cry. I can't wait for that technology. It's going to be so much better. Any thoughts on the Nest security cameras? I think they're great. I mean, for security cameras, I think they're fine. I'm not as into security cameras. I've had some companies wanting to send me some. Again, I talked about this on our Tech and Love episode with my wife. That is where I draw the line of privacy. I know Google Home, like a lot of people are always like, oh, aren't you afraid of people hearing, you know, what you're saying? I don't know. The saying something part, I'm not as afraid of as the actual visual part, because I feel that can be hacked, and that will then pick up audio and visual, and that's just a little scarier to me. But yeah, that's, I don't know. I've never been too interested in security cameras yet, but at the same time, you know, we still live in a townhome apartment style, so basically, as of right now, I can't just install every electronic that I want to. When we move to a home, that's probably when I'm going to dive more into really smart home stuff. Like I'm going to do tech out my house, basically kind of videos, where like once a month we're gonna add a new tech, whether it be you know, a doorbell ringer, camera, or whatever it is. We're gonna do all that kind of stuff. I think the Gear S4 and the new 360 will have Bluetooth 5.0. I don't think so. I would love to, but I don't think so. Are you going to watch Raw tomorrow night? CM Punk is rumored to be there. CM Punk will not be there. Not going to happen. I'll bet you on that holiday, and you can call me out on it if I'm wrong next week. Yes, I'm definitely watching that. I've gotten really a lot into wrestling lately, as you can see. If you watch my the best custom belts video, you can tell I've been into wrestling for a long time. I want to do that entrance, all that kind of stuff. It's a really fun video. Check it out if you haven't. Yeah, no, when it comes to wrestling, really gotten back more into it. I am watching the 100 best moments of Raw on the WWE Network right now. I've gone through the first 50, or sorry, the last 50 rather, so I'm going through the best 50 now. So yeah, should be fun to see. Who is winning the Super Bowl, Eagles or Patriots? I mean, I hate to say the Eagles. So like, sorry, I hate to say the Eagles. I would hate to say the Patriots, just because it's like, really? It's like, but yeah, I'm okay with it either way. My team hasn't been good until the end of this season. They were phenomenal. My team's the 49ers. Just always has been growing up as a kid. Back in the Steve Young days, Jerry Rice had the best team out there at the time. But that was my team back in the day. So there always will be my team. But for Super Bowls, I just like to see a good game. So I'm just hoping neither way it's a blowout. I hope it's a good game. Is the FSA Plus still worth it to buy for its price? I would say no. I would say hold off, because in a month you're going to see the price drop. So not now. Any news on AirPods wireless charging case? I've been considering buying it because of battery life, simplicity, and how much. However, I have a Note 8, so I get the take one out and it pauses feature. Yeah, I don't know. I would recommend, for me, I would say probably the Jaybirds or the Jabras. Better off than the AirPods for Android purposes, or even just Samsung's own headphones. I know I still have to review those, which I might. So for the giveaway this month, I originally planned for a Samsung T5 portable solid state drive. It never showed up, and when I looked up on the website, which I ordered it directly from Samsung's website, they have it back ordered. So I might have to cancel that and like get something quickly, which I'm thinking about getting the headphones for that purpose, because I know a lot of people wanted me to review those. So I'm thinking about doing those. But yeah, so now that you mention it, probably going to do that later today. Hi Ricky, is it worth rooting your Android phone? What are the pros and cons? So the pros of rooting your phone is you have unlimited hotspot, basically. That's probably the biggest pro of it. You get rid of all the bloatware. Those are the reasons most people root their phones. Overclocking too, if you really want to get really techie. What are the cons about it? The cons are your support for your phone is now only as good as the person who created the ROM. The ROM is basically the software that makes all of the hardware work. Here's the thing, if a person has a Note 8 and then they're like, ooh, an S9 came out, I'm leaving this Note 8 and going to an S9, well, then you're never getting an update for your phone again. Or you have to root your phone again and get, you know, another one that's still supported. But that's the downside of it, is they're based on whoever creates the ROMs, and how long they stay with that phone is the support you're going to get. Would you recommend the Honor 7X? I'm still in the process of reviewing it. That review won't come out till probably next week. Yeah, right now it's looking really damn good, especially for a $200 price range. There's no, I'm leaning towards choosing it over the G5 Plus, but we're still talks about that. When does the S8 get Android Oreo? It still hasn't gotten it in a lot of places right now, so I would say most likely February was when it'll get it. What laptop do I need to run mixed reality headset? You need a minimum of a graphics card of a 1070, I believe, from NVIDIA, and I'm not sure what the Radeon equivalent is, just because I don't know the AMD graphics cards enough. but that's what you need. Is you need a graphics card of 1070, I want to say minimum, to run mixed reality headset. And I would recommend an i7, 8th generation if possible, but that's what I would recommend. How do I get rid of the white backgrounds on apps on the Pixel 2? That's fine if you don't know. How do I get rid of the white backgrounds on apps? What do you mean the white backgrounds? Oh, do you mean like the circles? Do you mean like the circles? I think that's in the settings, because I turned that on. So I'm pretty sure you can turn that off. Display. I don't remember where I did that. Not notifications, not default app. Oh, is that under system and advance or gestures? No. I swear I turned that on this device. It was not on by default, but I wanted it to be on by default. I would have to in-app ringing. I would have to look that up. I cannot think of it off the top of my head, at least. This is why I prefer Nova Launcher, because you can just customize all that all the time, and it's a lot easier. My niece has an SA Plus. My sister spoils her. I think it's too good for a 12-year-old. A 12-year-old to have an SA Plus? Yes, your sister does spoil her. That's insane, man. 12 years old getting... Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. 12 years. Kids are spoiled nowadays. To be fair, like... I think about it like when my kids... Okay, when my kid's a teenager, they're probably getting the top of the line phone. I'm gonna be like, hey, son, you're the YouTube tech son, or you're the YouTube tech girl. You can't be walking around with no little cheap budget phone. You gotta have some good. You have to. So like, yeah, I gotta think of myself when I really am like that. I have a Samsung Note 8. I bought it from Korea via eBay. My problem is Bixby camera function and shopping. When you scan them, like the price in Korean currency, I need to change it to Australian dollar. I have changed the language and location, but it still happens. Any idea on how to change it? That I would think you would need to. I think the only way to do is root. I think that's the only way to do it. I can't think of another way to change that, because that is embedded in the phone on another level. So yeah, that's the only way I can think of it, is rooting it. I just buy the Note 8 and I'm having a lot of trouble with the touchscreen around the corner of the phone. Is that normal? Also, I also have a glass screen protector. I would say take the glass screen protector off if it's still having that issue. No, it's not normal, and I would return it or get it exchanged. But I would see if it's your screen protector first, so I would take the screen protector off to see if it still has that same issue. Where do I go for Wi-Fi to get a better ping for my PS4? I don't know. My PS4 is literally on the other side of the wall, which is connected through Ethernet, so I haven't used Wi-Fi on it for a while. But what was it? What Culture Gaming just did like a lot of tips on PS4, and I was playing it on the background while I was setting this up. They had a lot of interesting stuff, but I don't think they'd had anything on Wi-Fi. Yeah, nothing I can think of off the top of my head, man. What is your feedback regarding net neutrality? I talked about that when it was first going down, but hopefully we get it back, because it is overall beneficial for us to get it. But we'll see. And by us I mean consumers. Where do I go for Yeah. Not sure. You can also see, by the way, it could be your router settings. So your router settings, like on my home router, I can say what takes priority. So for instance, number one priority is uploading for my router. So if I'm doing a stream, everything else slows down because this is more important, basically. Then followed by gaming. Gaming takes secondary priority. So if no one is streaming, gaming takes the most speed. So if my wife or me is playing an online game, then gaming takes priority over everything else. If gaming is not happening, then streaming takes priority over everything else. And streaming is the number one to go to. So your routers can do things like that. Maybe check yours to see if whatever style you have it on is actually slowing down on gaming. Let's see. Is anyone having problems switching apps on Xbox One or streaming phone on YouTube app? I have it on the phone app, but I'm not sure about it on Xbox. Is an unlocked smartphone better than a carrier branded smartphone? I mean, with carrier applications? Well, here's the thing. I feel like carrier phones get updated a little bit quicker because OTA updates can get pushed out by your so over-the-air updates get pushed out by your manufacturer. However, your carrier is the one that pushes out your security patches, apparently, although there are ways around it. That's typically what happens. But because of that, your security patches can get done quicker on a carrier phone, but your updates can happen quicker on an unlocked phone. So really either way. I prefer an unlocked phone though. After having the Note 8 unlocked, I'm buying directly from Samsung for all my Samsung smartphones now, instead of going through carriers, definitely. Any suggestions on a particularly good, cheap 4K TV around 40 inches? I mean, there's lots of them, to be honest. I mean, LG has great ones around 40 inches. I don't know if I would recommend Samsung at that price. I feel like Samsung is a better price point at 55, but not necessarily 40. Toshiba, Vizio, TCL, those are all about, I would say maybe Vizio out of those three. I don't know, but yeah, I haven't researched a 40-inch TV in a while. But I mean, those are all good brands to go with, I would say. LG, I would say, would be the best quality out of those ones. If you can find a good deal on one. By the way, there is going to be a lot of good deals over the next coming weeks because the Super Bowl has a lot of good deals. And if you go to like something like a Best Buy, you get a lot of open boxes. What people do at a Super Bowl actually is they would always buy a TV, buy a huge screen TV for the Super Bowl, and then return it at Best Buy. But because they returned it, you get like $200, $300 off a big screen TV, at least $100 off. So that's really awesome. Did you hear Dragon Ball Super is ending in March? Since you said you had it downloaded, does that mean you're going to with subs for now? So no, I have, let me see. So I have all the dubbed versions till episode 47. That is SOS from the future, a dark new enemy appears. I don't want to know what that is. Do not tell me. But that is what I have the dub up to. So I will continue to only watch the dubbed version, and that's what I currently have it up to. And I'm watching it this week, basically. My goal is to watch all of the episodes before Friday, because that's when I'm getting the fighter game. So before Friday, I'm trying to watch all of the episodes. Right now, I'm doing all the Raw stuff before the Raw WWE Raw 25th anniversary, and then I'm going to catch up on all Dragon Ball, and then I'm going to do 2 gaming reviews this weekend. We'll see how I do. I'm literally going to attempt to do the Dragon Ball gaming review in one day. I'm planning on getting that one and Monster Hunter on Friday, and I plan on playing it all day Friday and like half a day Saturday, and then uploading it Saturday evening. So that's my goal right now for my, no, not my first gaming review, right? My second gaming review, or the new style of gaming review, I should say. My Gear S3 lasts 3 days. What does he do to make it last so little? Well, like me, I always have it on, so that always on display drains it. So yeah, mine would last 2 days or so, but I always have it on. So he started doing the same thing like me. So that cuts your battery life probably in half, honestly. But yeah, that would be the first thing right away. Will the Gear S4 be USB Type-C? It will not have a direct connection in it. So will the charger be Type-C? Hopefully, I pray. Gear S4, just take my money. I know, right? They haven't released it in a while. Yeah, I thought you did do a review on the Shield. Okay, so I think I did do a review on the Shield. Again, this was the first Shield when it came out. So not the Shield that came out last year, but the Shield that came out 2 or 3 years ago? 2 years ago, I think. You missed my question at 11:07. I can't see what time you posted it. Just re-ask the question. Ricky, will you do more videos with your other half? At this time, my wife is not doing more videos, but I am pressing the issue. So wish me good luck, and I will let her know that someone asked about her being in another video. Does Exynos processor come to the US on the unlocked phones? No, the international version does. There's international and there's unlocked. Unlocked still has the Snapdragon version, that is why it's unlocked, but not international, which is the Exynos version. That's the main difference between the two. Also, some of the built-in apps are a bit different. When will the Notebook 9 Pro be released? Any thoughts on it? So the new one is not called the Pro anymore. It's called the Notebook 9 Pen instead of Pro, or S Pen, or I think it's just called Pen. Samsung actually did not have a date. At least the people there did not have a date for me on that one, but I will inquire about it when I email Samsung tomorrow. Tomorrow is my day of like emails galore. Like I literally have, I want to say about 30 emails I have to do tomorrow. For all of the contacts that I had at CES. So we'll hopefully get some more stuff in the studio and hopefully make some really good partnerships. How much will the price go down on the S8 phones when the S9 comes out? Usually $100. Now that you're talking about speakers, my Echo goes off by itself a lot. My Google Home doesn't do that. Yeah, I think because Alexa is a more common thing. Like I actually mute my my Echo, so yeah. Dude, stoned. I'm not stoned, actually. I don't smoke. It would be cool if you would say. I'm not gonna say the thing that turns on a Google Home. Cut my grass. You know that is a thing though, right? They do have lawnmowers that are like the robots. Basically, they're like the iRoombas, but instead of a smart vacuum, it's a smart lawnmower. You basically geofence an area, so like this is where you can go and does it. I've heard mixed things, like that. It's still you still have to cut a little bit of it yourself, but yeah, that's what I've heard. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Hi Ricky, did you get my address? I sent you on Patreon and on Twitter. Dave, I believe I did. And I know it's like way late in the month. I haven't sent them out yet because CES really messed me up and I had some family stuff last week, so I did not send them out. I have both things literally right there ready to ship tomorrow, so I will be shipping them out tomorrow. But yeah, I did. Dave, yes, I think you were the one who won before as well, right? So it should be the same address, if I'm not mistaken. Or were you the new one that won? There's 3 winners and 2 were one was a new one, one was or sorry, 2 were past winners and 1 was a new winner. So I'm not sure which one you are off the top of my head, but I do have both the addresses taped to both the Pixel Buds and the Google Home Mini. Yeah, Google Home Mini. All right. I think my Echo is possessed. Alright, you may have explained it before, but I missed it. But what's the deal with the clock? Does 116 mean something significant to you? So I don't have my mug here. There's a whole thing on the channel that's a joke. It's we basically on my merch store, if you look in the link in the description, we have something called Rigsby, which is an inside joke about just that basically Rigsby is going to be the biggest software to ever hit the world, and it's going to be the biggest thing since Windows on computers or since iOS on mobile. Because I am a wrestling fan of old, our clock is permanently on 116, so we have this thing called Rigsby 116. Yeah, that's the whole thing about it. That's in short, very, very short. Tell your sister to move out of my house. I don't have a sister. Quick, Rigsby, Bible, holy water. Oh, you were saying I think my Echo's possessed. Quick, get the Rigsby Bible, holy water. I watched a YouTube video on 5G and stated that it will bring an average user of what 4G was promised when it launched. I mean, 5G should be much faster. I mean, you think about the internet speed that 5G should bring. It should more be consistency, yes, but I mean, we're talking about easily you're getting over 200 megabits upload and download on 5G easily at all times. So it is more about consistency, I would say, for 5G. But yeah, I mean, I don't remember what 4G LTE was originally promising, but hopefully they weren't promising that kind of speed. What video should we be expecting? Tomorrow is the best of CES 2018 videos. That's the one you should be expecting for tomorrow. Tuesday, I think I have the Smart Scale video, and the Samsung laptop, I believe it's Wednesday, not Tuesday. I'm trying to think of, and then what else? What else did we record already? That is what has already been recorded, but I know. Oh, the LG missing on the G7 is actually a benefit. That video is coming out as well. And then I'm gonna do a tech round about Face ID. That's coming too. I've not rooted Samsung since the Note 4 because I haven't been disabling Samsung Pay since the Note 5. Ah, there you go. Alexa, the power of Rigsby compels you. There you go, Alex. That's how you get rid of it. I got the S8 Plus for Christmas. Awesome. I bought my own S8. I'm 15. See, but that's cool because like I had a job. I started working when I was 13 for a marketing company. Don't worry about child labor laws. But yeah, no, I thought that is definitely gonna be a whole thing for real. I mean, yeah. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Wait, where do we go? Oh, I was saying that, yeah, like, see, if you buy yourself, that's actually good. Like, you're working for it. And I hope, like, I mean, me and my wife are my butt heads a little bit because, you know, she's all about the kids doing school and extracurricular activities. I'm more like they should have a job at 16 so that it instills, you know, again, just a work ethic at least. So that's what I would say. Even though my wife never wants them to do a YouTube channel, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I could help them out with that, right? Oh, her essay was her bar mitzvah gift. That's really nice. How do I fidget with the priorities of my router, Belkin? Look up your manual, Derek. It's kind of hard to explain that. You basically have to go to your root home which is, you know, some kind of address like 192.1.0, you know, whatever yours is, but your best way is look at the manual to find out your root home address. And then once you find out your root home address, you're probably gonna need a password or something that's on your router, and then you can go from there. But that's how you would do it. Yeah, it costs less. You have no idea what you're in for with Super. I know about, like, there's some things that have, I could not escape spoilers of, I know there's a Goku Black, I know there's future Trunks comes back, and I know there's something that looks like a tall Frieza. I don't know what these things are, but I know all these things happen. Or are in there, I guess. But yes, I have no idea. So I know of those things, but I don't know how epic they are, I guess. Ricky, I got a new smartphone, Android, Samsung S7 with LifeProof case, nice. And Samsung fast charge stand for Christmas, I love it. When will the S7 get Android Oreo 8? So here's my thing. When it does get it, I wouldn't upgrade to it. I've gone over this. If you haven't checked out our video on Android updates or Android fragmentation being an advantage, I would personally not upgrade an S7 to Android Oreo. However, when will it come out? It'll mostly come out between March and May. So March, April, or May is when it'll probably get Oreo. I would not upgrade to it though with an S7. What games do you play on your phones? Which games take advantage of the 144 hertz? Actually, a great list if you want to see on the 120 hertz refresh rate for Razer phone is on Phone Arena. I think they had all 50 games that are compatible with it. Injustice 2, Modern Combat 5 were some of the ones that just came to mind. I'm turning my Razer phone on right now to see all of the games that I have. I turn off a lot of the Wi-Fi stuff when I do the streaming. But yeah. What channel is Dragon Ball Z and where do you view it, please? I actually download it from a website that's called Fun Online. But yeah, if you just Google Dragon Ball Super episodes dub, it should be one of the places where you can find it. And you can stream it or you can just download it. But for legal purposes, I won't put it on there. Let's see. T-Mobile does not carry the S7 Edge. Do you recommend buying or waiting till the S8s go down in price? If you're getting an S8, I would recommend waiting till the S9 comes out, yes. Especially because you have 1 month. My friend asked me how long does the Gear S3 last if you have the screen always on. Having my NYPD appointed on Thursday. Wish me good luck, I'm nervous. Oh, good luck, Alex. Really good luck. Exynos or Snapdragon on the Note 8. Exynos, I believe, was a little bit faster, but I think the Snapdragon had a slightly better battery life. Did we? It's been a while since, because actually I did not get an Exynos version of the Note 8 for too long. I only had it for like a week or so. But the S8, I think that's what I found out with the Exynos, because that one I had for like a month, the Exynos version and the Snapdragon version, but yeah. What happened to your V30 review? I am going to be getting the V30 officially in February, so that's probably when I'll be doing it, even though, yeah. Also, what do you think of LG ditching the G series? We are doing the entire video on that. Is the Note 8 the best smartphone of 2017? Well, if you saw my best smartphones of 2017 video where we did the top 10, you would know. And it very well could be. Whoa, whole bunch of questions loaded. What tech brand is your favorite? I have favorites for different things. I mean, it's no secret that I have a lot of Samsung stuff. But like Panasonic, I love their cameras. Although if I had the money, I would get Sony camera. If I had the money, I would get an LG OLED TV. So it's more about what's affordable to me at times. But yeah, there's a lot of brands that are really good for different things. I love Rode for microphones and audio quality. Lights, I haven't found a perfect brand for me yet. I would love to get like things like Aperture, but they're just too expensive. So again, I know a lot of the high quality brands, but it doesn't mean I can necessarily afford them. How much do you think starting price of Moto G6 Plus will cost? I think the starting price will be $229 or $250 for the lowest version. What was your best smartphone of 2016? My best smartphone of 2016, I will let you know, although we did a top 10 video of that one too, of 2016 was technically the Note 7, even though that was kind of like, it was a whole explanation, of course, because it was like, look, what was the best smartphone of that year? That was the best smartphone of that year. But I forgot what took second place. I don't know if it was the Google Pixel, the first one, the V20, the iPhone 7 Plus, was that 7 Plus at the time? Or the, what was it, the S8? No, S7 Edge. Yeah, it was one of those that would have taken the second place. If you did not see my message, here's again, Ricky. I got a new. I did answer that question, Jeremy. Oh, why not update the S7 to Oreo? Because it's going to slow down your phone tremendously. That hardware was not made for that software. That's a quick answer, but if you want the full explanation, I did an entire video on why you shouldn't upgrade to the latest OS. Will the Galaxy X have its own announcement and date in the spring? So, you know how I said the Galaxy X was shown to certain people at CES and they had to sign non-disclosures when they saw it? That happened. Okay, I pre-ordered the my Note 8 when I was 16. Get on my level. What do you think of Jimmy is Promo channel? Jimmy is Promo. I've never heard of that one. Never heard of his? He looks like he has cool hair. But yeah, I've never heard of his channel. And I mean, that happens. I mean, there's so many YouTubers out there. I never get offended if no one knows who the hell I am. Again, because just, yeah. And there's way bigger ones than me that people still don't know. Like, anytime I'm like, oh, you don't know MKBHD? Like, how do you not know MKBHD? Like, you know. So, wait, did you see Hit then? I don't know what Hit is, or did you mean It? I've not seen Dragon. I've seen commercials, I've seen things with those characters in Dragon Ball Super, if that's what you're talking about. Most people, if they're on a carrier, don't have the choice to upgrade their software. It's forced. You can postpone it for quite a while. If not, yeah, you have to be more techy to permanently stop it, but yeah. You missed a couple questions when, whoa, a whole bunch of etc. Mine was, will the Note 8 still be good as today in 5 years? No. I mean, you know, look, well, let me put it this way. Will it still be where it's at right now? Yeah, it's still going to be a great phone with a great battery life, but will your battery have deteriorated by that long? Yes. Your battery will have deteriorated by that long. So you would have to swap out the battery at least once in 5 years from now. 2, will updates slow it down if you don't stop them? Yes, it will. So no in that sense, but I mean, our smartphone technology moves so fast that in 5 years time, a $200 smartphone that comes out in 5 years will be better than the Note 8 now. Make sense? I mean, sorry. That the Note 8 will not be as good as a $200 smartphone in 5 years. So 5 years from now, you take the Note 8 as with all the updates, with everything, to that time period, and then you take a $200 smartphone, the $200 smartphone will be better than it within that comes out within 5 years. Ricky, when I turn on my S8 Plus sideways to watch full screen, the questions run up left side, which covers you, leaving the whole right side screen open. Do you control the position of the text? I do not, actually. That is just how Google does it. What cameras do you use? I use the Lumix G7 on this one, and my main rig and the one we use at CES is the Lumix G85. I'm waiting for Rigsby phone to come out. How long do we have to wait? It's nowhere near ready right now. It's a project, as they say at CES. It's annoying when YouTubers say, okay, and Google launches. Did I get you? No, you didn't, because I know not to say it because of that reason. Would you recommend updating to Oreo on S8 phone? Yes, that one I would recommend, but I would not recommend upgrading to whatever P comes out to be. I would not upgrade to Android P when that comes out for the S8. How many Galaxy X will be made? Probably limited quantities, kind of like how the Note Edge was. Okay, thank you. Do you have any recommendations for $600 Australian phone? Is that AUS? I'm guessing that's Australian phone. $600 phone? I mean, the OnePlus 5T is perfect for that price. To be honest, that would be the one I would immediately think of. Do you Oreo on the Note 8 good or bad? Oreo on the Note 8 good. I just want to thank you. I got Deco in my house, and because of you, I love it. Awesome, Angel. I love it too. It's the best router I've ever had. Okay, so wait. Okay, yes. I have not gotten to Golden Frieza. I got to Golden Frieza in the movie, but I have not gotten to Golden Frieza in the TV show, which I think also happens because it seems like the Super just went through both movies, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry for those people who, I mean, I like Dragon Ball Z and like WWE, so we get sidetracked sometimes. Galaxy Tab S4 this year? I hope so. I think that will come out with the Note, though. When will the Honor 7X review come out? Probably next week. No, not this week. It won't be this week. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. These people saying Ricky, not Ricky, is annoying. Oh yeah, I spell my name R-I-C-K-Y. Everyone spells their name everyone spells Ricky differently, but mine is R-I-C-K-Y. If you haven't noticed by every time I say hello, it's R-I-C-K-Y, the YouTube tech guy. It's funny because that's how my niece learned to spell my name, actually. I'm like, how do I say it on YouTube? And she's like, oh, R-I-C-K-Y. Like, she knows how to spell my name because of YouTube, which I think is hilarious. What's Android P? Android P won't come out yet. I don't know, though. OnePlus 5T is not shipping to there. How cheap is the S8 over there? I don't know the prices, that's the only thing. Android peanut butter or pecan pie. There's a rumor that it's just gonna be called pie. So kind of like you get so many variations of pie. How do you broadcast through Google Mini? Can you command your phone for a home device in another room? So I can actually broadcast from my Google Home right now to do it. I actually did that earlier. I said Google broadcast, and it's like, okay, what do you want to broadcast? And I said, you know, tell the girls it's time to come down for dinner. And my niece and my wife came down because they heard it on their Google Homes in the rooms. Will there be a new iPad this year like the iPhone X design? Yes. Yes, saying okay is like saying Voldemort's name. It's that which shall not be named. It does, but there's some other stuff. Where do we see the vid of you and your wife in it? I missed it. Oh, it's actually the main vid on our page. If you are subscribed to the channel and you go to our page, YouTube Tech Guy, it's there, but it's called Tech in Love. And there's also bloopers, which are hilarious. Ricardo! I still love, I laugh at that line every time. My opinion, if you're a Note user, pass the S9 and wait for the Note 9. I would say that's true. Rick, you Latino? I am Latino. When are you going to make another video with your wife? You guys are really cute. Again, I have asked her. She has said, definitely not right now, but I'm working on it. I told her, I'm like, babe, we got over 300 likes. Just saying. What I will say is, please share the Tech in Love video. If you guys have never shared any video of mine, share the Tech in Love video, because if that one continues to get more views, I can use that to tell my wife, see babe, look how popular this video is. I mean, if you want my channel to grow and you want us to make more money and go on those nice vacations, you know, I'm just saying. But yeah, if you guys can, that is one thing I will totally ask you guys, share the Tech in Love video on all your social medias. Share it. If you have any friend that has a lot of you know, social media followers, tell them, hey, share this video. If the more and more views that video gets, the more and more that is the chance of my wife coming back on. How much do you you retracted your statement. How much do you think the Note 9 will be released, and how much do you think it will cost? Note 9 will most likely be released a month early this year, so July is what I'm looking at, or early August, late July, early August. And it'll probably be the same price as the Note 8 when it came out, so around $950 or $900. They are trying to get you. Oh yeah, but I'm not gonna say the words, okay. What do you think Android's next theme will be? Material? I'm hoping for liquid or for gestures controls. Ooh, that's kind of, I would just like the idea of liquid in terms of like smooth, like, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know what their next theme would be. Will the S9 Plus have boom sound speakers? It does. We covered the leak last week if you didn't see, but we did talk about the S9 will have stereo speakers. Does that mean what we all hope it means? We don't know, but they will have stereo speakers. Okay, so 479 USD. How about the Moto Z2 Play? That one I think is around that price. So that would be probably the best one that I can think of off the top of my head. Note 9 with screen fingerprint scanner, right? Yep. Do you trust buying from Swappa? I have never bought from Swappa. I don't use it. I know of it, but I've just never bought from it. I think I have had friends that have bought from it though. I think that's what he used. I'm not sure. What's the phone that you're most anticipating in 2018? Can I say the Galaxy X? I don't know actually, because there's a lot. Like Razer, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do for part 2. Pixel, I'm very curious to see because it was a big upgrade from Pixel 1 to Pixel 2, so I cannot wait to see what the new Pixel has. But yeah, a bendable phone is kind of hard to beat for me, although the Note 9 with the fingerprint scanner and the display is pretty nice too. We'll just have to wait and see. Moto Z2 Play, because there is Moto Z2 Force and there's Moto Z2 Play. I think the Moto Z2 Play is the one that should be at or under 500. We did review that one as well. Oh, what happened to Galaxy Forever and iPhone Forever, where you pay a monthly bill or something to keep your carriers? That was Sprint only, and I don't know if they still have that or not. I'm not a Sprint user, but that was Sprint was the only one who was doing by that name. Everyone has something like that though. AT&T has their Next plan. T-Mobile has Jump. Verizon has, I forget what theirs is called, but yeah, Sprint was the forever one. When will official Oreo be available for the Note 8? Most likely in March. I am also sure you will have to end soon because of the time. I will be swift. There is an arc after the Frieza arc that then the Goku Black. I see. Do you think Google will exclusively use Samsung screens on next year's Pixel? Oh, hell yeah. They are not using LG's screen after all the crap that they got for that. LG was probably by far cheaper. That's why they went with them. But yeah, they're not going to go through that. That is one of the stupidest things I think Apple's doing, is Apple wants a discount, so they're going to LG for their for some of the OLED screens for their next iPhones. But man, after what happened with the Pixel, you think they wouldn't want to. You're gonna have some iPhones with like better screens than the other one because they have two different display technologies. You're either gonna get a screen from Samsung, you're gonna get a screen from LG, and you're not gonna know which one's which until you buy it. Tug your left earlobe if you will get it. I don't know that yet, so I can't say that. If Razer keeps their form factor, I might have to purchase the second generation. Thought that Project Linda was awesome concept. Let's hope Razer comes out with it this time. Yeah, let's hope. If you know info about the Galaxy X and cannot tell us, blink 3 times. Look, guys, I can't say what I don't know. So yeah. All right, guys, I think we're gonna call it. Oh, dang, yeah, we went nuts. An hour and 22 minutes. I'm surprised I haven't gotten a message from my wife yet. All right, guys, I think we will call that a show. Thank you guys always so much for watching. Make sure to give a like, thumbs up before you head out. And again, lots of content coming out this week, so stay tuned for all of it. Guys, thank you again for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.